How's it going, everyone? I'm Landon with LMR.com. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Ford Performance's one-piece drive shaft designed for the 2007 to 2012 GT500s. So this drive shaft should appeal to the 2007 to 2012 GT500 owner who is wanting to upgrade from the factory two-piece drive shaft. Now, key features for this drive shaft is going to be its high-quality construction. The material of choice is 6061 T6 aluminum, and the wall thickness is an 1/8 inch. The diameter of this drive shaft is 3.5 inches, and each end will incorporate heavy-duty 1350 series U-joints. Now, because of the lightweight one-piece design, this Ford Performance drive shaft tips the scale at only 20 pounds. Now, when we compare that to the factory two-piece shaft, we save 16 pounds of rotational weight. This means faster acceleration, less rotational mass, and coincidentally, more horsepower since the engine has less weight to turn. In the box is going to be one drive shaft and rear retaining bolts. As far as applications go, Ford Performance builds this drive shaft to work with all 2007 to 2012 GT500s. It will not fit 2013 and 2014 GT500s. So to begin the install, you'll first want to support the car via a lift, or you'll want to get it as high and as safe as you can if you're going to be working off of jack stands. Loosen and remove the front flange hardware with a 12.12mm socket. There are 4 of these bolts. Loosen and remove the 6 8mm bolts that secure the rear of the drive shaft to the pinion flange. Use a pry tool and dislodge the front drive shaft flange from the pilot on the transmission output flange. Loosen and remove the 2 13mm bolts that secure the center bearing bolts to the bottom of the car. Whenever you remove the last bolt, hold the drive shaft with your free hand so it doesn't just fall onto the exhaust. With all of the retaining bolts loose, feed the drive shaft towards the front of the car and pass it underneath the transmission crossmember until the entire assembly is removed from the car. Because the Ford Performance drive shaft is a one-piece design, you'll need to remove the driver's side over axle pipe from the car. Loosen and remove the 2 15mm nuts from the exhaust sleeve. Loosen the 13mm bolt on the clamp that secures the over axle pipe to the muffler piping. Slide the sleeve towards the rear and then remove the over axle pipe from the car. Before installing the new drive shaft, take a look at each flange and make sure that they are free of debris and there is no sign of visible wear or damage. Also, to make life a heck of a lot simpler, remove the pre-installed thread locking compound from the bolts provided by Ford Performance. With the pre-installed thread locking compound removed, go ahead and apply your own blue thread locking compound to these bolts. Now, because of the larger U-joints, you'll need to slide the 2 provided flanged head bolts through the rear flange on the drive shaft first, as you won't be able to install these with the drive shaft in the car. Go ahead and position the drive shaft into the car. First, place the rear of the drive shaft into the rear pinion flange and thread the 2 bolts in by hand. Compress the slip joint and then align the front of the drive shaft with the pilot on the front flange. Install the socket head cap bolt into the rear of the drive shaft. These have an 8mm head. Because of the tight wrenching space, do your best to torque each of these bolts to 41 pound-feet working in a cross pattern. You'll want to use a pry bar as leverage whenever you torque each bolt. To keep track of the bolts that you've already torqued, simply place a mark on the head of each bolt. Now, I'm going to be using new front flange hardware and encourage you to do the same. Go ahead and apply some blue thread locking compound to these bolts. Install them into the front flange and finger tighten. Again, because of the tight wrenching space, do your best to torque these bolts to 76 pound-feet working in a cross pattern. An optional step is reinstalling the 2 bolts that secure the center bearing to the body of the car. This will plug the exposed holes. At this time, you can go ahead and check over all of your work and then reinstall the over axle pipe. Get the car on the ground and then you're good to go. Overall, this was a great upgrade for this car, and like anything Ford Performance offers, their one-piece drive shaft is another great example of their quality parts. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for more great content and turn on notifications. That way you're notified every time we release something new. While you're at it, check out our other videos, and you guys know what to do by now for all things S197 Mustang. Keep it right here with the Real Enthusiasts, LMR.com.